Okay. I think yesterday our team members will share formula sheets on group. That's a basic formula. That is a transmission line oriented formulas for how to design an antenna or else microstrip filters or whatever it's in EM based devices. We need to consider that is the basic formulas. Okay, and that formula having two categories is there. One is an radiating element categories, and another one is and a ground penetration categories. In a radiation elements means it's directly based upon that lambda g value, sorry, lambda value. So it's directly get from the wavelength consideration parts. And then the second thing is a substratal elements value. That means a ground and a substrate length at values that's all depend upon the radiating element value. So that's are the formulas, and also having a feed line and a feed without the formula. Also, you have to see in that in a formula sheets. Okay. So now we go for a design that category of 2.45 gigahertz. Okay. So I'm selecting as a base frequency range because I'm yesterday itself told I'm taking as a Wi-Fi band. So I'll take it Wi-Fi here. So 2.45 is my Wi-Fi band. So we need to design and that Wi-Fi oriented calculations. Okay. Here I am taking the substrate. Yesterday I told one thing. Substrate is permittivity is inversely proportional to the frequency, so that we choose a high permittivity value, high frequency value. Okay. Now here I am taking as a base substrate here FR4 substrate, and tomorrow we take an R1 substrate. Okay. So today we have to take an FR4 substrate. In that FR4 substrate, how it's work on it. Okay. It's a perfect calculations and perfect design. We get exact band of 2.45 for this design mode. Okay. Now we have moved to a software design windows. So yesterday itself, you all know about that window exactly. That XY plane and then Y plane. What is the X plane and what is Y plane and what is the Z plane characteristics, etc. things. And now we move on to design categories. Okay, I'll make it a calculation for before 10 to 15 minutes for all the things is based upon your formula sheets in the formula sheets. Okay, so now the first step. Yesterday we told one thing. The first step of the antenna design is to make a substrate. Okay, so now we make a substrate. Here substrate means it's a three-dimensional coordinate structure. So I am selecting a box here. So I'm selecting a box and draw the box at any of locations in that my axis window. Here we having to here in a property window, solids will generate. That solid having a vacuum box, so one here is there. So you double click on that box one, then just convert that box one into a substrate and substrate, and then the material things is you have to convert that materials vacuum into a FR4. Now I am taking FR4 because first I'm designing a base substrate progress, and next day we'll go for a R-LAN oriented that means high permittivity substrate oriented designs. Okay, then only you get how it's variated. So you need you know about that variation. That's why. So here I'm taking FR4. So just give OK. Then I have to change my color. So now my substrate box is ready. So go for create rectangle. Sorry, create a box. In that box, and yesterday itself told I'm taking as origin at my position. So here my position is 0, 0, and 0. Here the X. Today also I'm taking a rectangular patch with square ground. Okay, so this is the combination thing. I'm taking a rectangular patch with square ground. So I need to calculate on both things. So I need to calculate first rectangle, and then the rectangle will converted into a square. Okay, so now I'm taking my substrate, and then ground is a square oriented thing. So based upon the formula calculation, here I'm having that value of 70, 70, and the H formula also here. H is equal to 0.606 lambda divided by root epsilon r. If you use that formula, means our thickness values comes from 3.6 mm. So just apply and OK. Here now I make it my substrate here. So if I complete the first step to make a substrate. Okay, so this is a substrate. The substrate width is a 3.6. Substrate height is in a 3.6 mm. and length is 70 mm and also width is 70 mm. Here, why I am taking my ground is my substrate and ground is a square means all the four sides are equal. So the radiation propagation is I want an equal radiation propagation. So that here I am selecting my ground is a square one. Okay. Now I move out on my patch, and that patch is placed upon that rectangular oriented things. Okay. And once again, I have to change one progress things. Yesterday, we saw from x plane, that means xy plane feed line. Now we have to change yx plane feed line. Okay. So yx plane feed line means I'm placing feed is here. Here itself my placing feed. Okay. So I'll give the at last I'll tell the explanation for all the things. Okay. So next, the second step is placed on a ground. So I'm selecting a rectangle here. So I draw one rectangle. So again, I'm move on to a sheet, and that sheet I change the rectangle name into a ground. So ground, here I'm change.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Square ground, you said, na?
Sorry, ma'am.
Square ground. You
Yes,
said square ground.
yeah.
Then you are taking rectangle.
Ma'am, here size only for rectangle, circle, pentagon alone. I take it a rectangle, then it's converted into a square.
Okay.
Okay. Now I go for a create rectangle. Then I have to make an axis also 0, 0, 0. Then the rectangle converted into a square, the same dimension. So 70, 70. I'm taking 70 as a 70. So now the ground also here. Ground also converted into a square. The rectangle is converted into square. Why I am taking a rectangle means here we having a rectangular, circular, pentagon alone. So that I am taking a rectangular, then converted into the rectangle. Sorry, convert that rectangle into a square. Okay. So next thing, as a third step, we need to place a radiating element. In that radiating element, I before itself told I change my axis direction. That means the feed line position direction. So I'm using y-x plane is my base plane. So again go for rectangle. So draw one rectangle here. So converted that rectangle into a radiating layer. Radiating layer. Then change my color also here. Then go for a questionnaire things. In that questionnaire things, I actually told one thing, the formula for how to make a position in that middle of that rectangle. Okay. Here the formula is Lg minus L divided by 2, comma Wg minus W divided by 2, comma H, the total thickness value. Based upon that calculation, we got 21.1, comma 15, comma 3.6, my exact frequency range. And then my length of the substrate is 27.3 mm. Then my width of the substrate is 38 mm. So here I am placing my radiating layer at the middle of the square patch. So then again I move on to a transmission line properties. So again I am taking a rectangle here. So create rectangle. In that rectangle I am change the name into a transmission line. So here giving a transmission. And change it into the color. For a differentiate only, we have to change the color. So again, go for a questionnaire things. In the question, we got something else. Yes. Based on the calculation, here we get to two formulas, the LF and then WF value. So already that formula sheet having LF is equal to lambda G by 4. Here you're taking lambda G means lambda G is equal to lambda divided by root of epsilon or effective. You take as an epsilon or effective. So for 4.4 means it's getting around 4.2 something is an epsilon or effective. So you just use that thing as means you're getting a lambda G value. And then take a feed length is lambda G by 2, sorry, lambda G by 4. The length of the substrate is lambda G by 4. Then you have to convert it into barrier condition for B, barrier condition of B. So after taking that barrier condition, you have a WF value. That means a feed width value. Based on the calculation, our feed length is 33 mm, and then our feed width is at 2.8 mm. Okay. Based on the yesterday formulas. So here I am placing my feed line here, but the feed line is overlapped with the radiating layer. So I need to insert this feed into that that radiating layer. So I should so here I include two parallel capacitance value. That means insert feed. That feed method is called as an insert feed. Insert feed is nothing but we have to introduce two parallel capacitors in the feed line is called as an insert feed. Okay, so I make it insert feed. So I'm taking one rectangle here. That rectangle I need to place on this here. I want to here only based upon that rectangle. Okay, because I need to insert this feed like a our radiating layer. So that I'm using here, I'm using a two parallel capacitance value. That capacitance is I'm taking a 6 volt. That means each side having a 3 mm capacitance. So 3 mm capacitance means it's generally calculated that the RLC calculated mode. It's getting a 1.8 picofarad capacitance. I include a 1.8 picofarad capacitors here. So if I get it, if I using that 1.8 picofarad means my feed is inserted via some capacitive value. So if we're getting a capacitive value means our transmission line will work on at a perfect impedance characteristic. So this is also one of the impedance matching characteristic. So here I am inserting that feed based upon the calculation. We got the axis position is 39, 31, 3.6. Then X is 10 and Y is 6. So now I introduce this capacitance here. So I'm selecting that radiating layer, and then that if you create new rectangle here and right click on it and go for edit, and that edit you have a Boolean function. In that Boolean function I need to subtract radiating layer to that capacitor capacitance. So I'll give that this type of things is okay. So here I'm insert my feed line into a radiating layer. In that radiating layer I got two capacitance values, each capacitance having 1.8 picofarad value. Okay, and again once again I merge to this to I merge to transmission line into a radiating layer. So select button is, then go for edit and also a Boolean. That Boolean having a unite function. So I'll give a unite. So now my exact antenna is ready for it. So here in that antenna having a two feed line, having a two capacitance via feed line. So if I give a feed via feed line, if I give a capacitor into a feed line means our impedance has to be matched one, because what is capacitor is function is store and re-forward. If I giving the input power from here into direct propagation means entire power will not comes to a radiating layer. Some losses is there. So you should avoid that losses. I'm using that insert feed characteristics. So here my impedance is perfectly matched to 1. So I'll explain via as a Smith chart plot oriented. Okay. Then again I move on to a feed line structure. Sorry, I'll give a edge feed. So again you go for a rectangle, and the rectangle, draw one rectangle here, then converted that rectangle into a feed. Then see, based on the calculation, we got an axis position. So 70, 32.1, 0, and then here I have to change my axis into an X. So first of all, because my X here my X is there, so my entire feed of the antenna will work on it X oriented things. That means the Y is parallel to an X. So here I am changing my Y direction into a Y direction into an X direction. That's why I convert my feed line into a X direction. Then here I am taking a 3.8, and then my Z is 3.6. That means my thickness is 3.6. So just put okay. So here I am placing my exact feed line here. So now we have to apply perfect conductor values. So I'll go for ground, select a ground, first of all ground, then right click on a ground, go for assign boundary condition. In that boundary condition, I'm taking here, now I'm changing my directions, and also I insert 2 capacitance in a feed line. So here I'm giving electrical property means my entire electrical property does not work. So I'll need to give a finite conductivity value. If I give a finite conductivity value means entire progress will be done in a unit circle unit matrix, so that we get a impedance matching characteristic. So I need to change my assign boundary condition perfectly into a finite conductivity. So I'm selecting finite conductivity. In that finite conductivity, our relative permeability is always 1, because our permittivity only we have to change. But in that yesterday itself, I told in a FR4 relative permeability value is in a unit. So here the unit is that this is the conductivity value. So that's also is the same. So just give a OK. And then again go for radiating layer, and also changing my radiating layer into boundary condition into a same finite conductivity value. Just put an OK. Okay. And next go for feed and right click on a feed, then go for assign excitation, and then select a lumped port and give a full port impedance, and also I give a power integration line in that line. So next and finish. So now our entire antenna is ready for a running condition. I think I'm going a little bit fast because of yesterday itself we know the design characteristics. Today we need to analyze some more results. That's why I'm going for a speed design speeds. Speedily do a designs. Okay, so don't mistake it. Then and more next we need to draw a radiation box here. Yesterday itself I told one thing is an open circular region means we have a create region option. That means above 2017 version means we have a open create open region option is there. But now we need to calculate based on that lambda g by 6. Yesterday I had to told one formula, radiation box formula. So in that formula oriented things we have to calculate. That means we getting some values. So now I based upon that calculation I'll make it one box here. Then right click on that box one. That box is converted into a radiation. Then we need to go for converted vacuum into air, because air is our medium. So that I'm selecting air is our medium. Then again go for create box. We got a based on the calculation, we got some axis postulated value. So I apply that axis postulated value. Here, why I am taking as all this minus means we need a mid of the antenna, so that I'm selecting all the things as into a middle. So now my antenna is placed on the middle of the radiation box, and then select radiation box and right click on it, go for assign boundary, give a radiation. So now our entire antenna will ready for a running condition. So before running, we need to give a scaling conditions, so that we select a simulation and go for setup. Let's set up our exact frequency is 2.45 gigahertz. If you want to, you change the number of passes. I'm taking 21 passes now today. So select, then I'll go and check out whether it's that answer is correct or not. I'll give out the frequency is correct. So just give on a OK. Then go for sweep. In the sweep, yesterday itself I told we had to select a fast Fourier transform, and then we need to change in the linear step or count, whatever it's, and take a step here. Our frequency range is 1 to, here I am taking a 5, and step size is 0.1 gigahertz. So just give on a OK. Now validating my things, so all are correct. So I'll save this project into my location. So now we go for a running condition. So I'll give a click run here, analyze all. Our local machinery condition is ready to run. We'll give a 21 pause. So 21 adaptive pause will run here. The 4-step process is that first it's build a matrix formation. After build that matrix formation, it's going to convert into upper triangle 0 and lower triangle 0 value. Then after converting that upper triangle and lower triangle, we got a bit of some polynomial sequence, and that polynomial sequence is converted into that polynomial sequence analyzed based upon the butterfly wing diagram method, that means DSP process analysis. After getting the DSP process analysis, we got a results. Okay, so we are waiting for the results now. So before going to a results, we give a radiation condition. The radiation condition, we insert a far field. If you go for an open region condition, means you want to enter these things, but you need to calculate a radiation box dimensions, means we go for we only insert that far field condition. So I'll give a insert here. So here I am taking all the things is set. Just put an OK. Then go for results and right click on it results and create model solution data report and rectangular plot here. The first one is an return losses parameter. So I'll give an OK. Then VSWR. So just wait for our running conditions. It's almost running is completed. Our local machine is completed. Okay. Now we got a exact frequency of 2.4. I will take a 2.45 gigahertz. But here we got 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, but in the bandwidth we got a 2.45 also. So whether we check it whether having a 2.45 or not. Here we having a 2.51. So bandwidth is around 250 megahertz. So then our VSWR, we need to calculate our VSWR. So we go for a Y scaling axis. That scaling axis converted into a 3. Then 0.1 means we got some exact results. the 2.4 we got 1.529. So before going to all the things, first I'll explain the design once again now in a step-by-step basics. First, we need to put a substrate, and the substrate I told yesterday itself we have a originated substrate only. We choose the originated substrate, so we go for a 3D box. We go for a 3D box. In that box, we draw one 3D box here. Then we have to convert that box into a square box because of we taking a square ground, need to eliminate a radiation emission. That's why we go for a square box. So we select we give a exact value for our calculated things. So 70, 70 and 3.6. Here H is in a 3. Why I am taking H is in a 3.6 means based upon the calculation we got a 3.6 mm thickness. Then X is in a 70 and Y is in a 70 based on the calculation. So if you give that things means we got some exact value. Then the third step is we need to put a radiating layer here. So radiating layer also we go for a create rectangle. So radiating layer. So we go for a create rectangle here. That create rectangle we need to place a mid of the axis. So mid of the axis means you need to find a position. So we in a position finding formula yesterday we saw LG minus L divided by 2, comma WG minus W divided by 2, comma H. If you take that things means you got an exact position from this position. So we draw from here onwards. So after draw this things the fourth step is we insert it, we give a feed line. That means a transmission line here. So in the transmission line, we made a calculation based upon the formula. So transmission line formula is lambda g by 4. So the length of the transmission line is lambda g by 4. So you need to find a lambda g first of all. So lambda g is equal to lambda divided by root of epsilon r effective. Already you have to find the epsilon or effective based upon the calculation. So you put apply that epsilon or effective in that formula means you got a lambda g value. So and that you take a lambda g by 4 means you're getting this transmission line value here. So you made it the transmission line. After made the transmission line is overlap to that radiating layer. So we need to insert this transmission line. So using two parallel capacitance means the feed line is inserted into a radiating layer. So that we intro 1.8 microfarad capacitors. We had two types of capacitors alone here. One is 0.5 mm or else 3 mm alone. We need to use these two things, these two conditions only. If you go for a 0.5 mm means it's a 0.2 picofarad. If you go for a 3 mm means it's a 1.8 picofarad. Why I'm saying this two only we need to use means this two only give a perfect radiating condition. That means perfect emitted, perfect balancing condition for electrical signals. Okay, that's why we take a 0.5 mm and then 3 mm capacitance. Okay. Then we insert into that feed into a radiating layer means we got a full radiating, that means we got a full setup of antenna. Then I say we give us a boundary condition. In that boundary condition, here we need to change the axis position. Okay, so axis position means we have to we walk on the direction. We walk the progress into a plus 90 degree onwards, so that we need to give a finite conductivity value. Just wait, I'll show it that thing is. So generally, this is our based axis. In that axis, this is a zero line. So this is a 0, then this is a 90 degree, and this is also a 90 degree. This is here also on a 90 degree. Here also I getting a minus 90 degree. So totally we got a 360 degree progress. Okay, so plus 90, minus 90, plus 90, and minus 90. So here I need to change my axis. That means my feed portion is on a 90 degree progress, so that we give a finite conductivity element value here. That's why if I give a perfect E, means in a perfect E is work on a zero axis. That means zero radiation only. The power will distributed equally distributed. If I give a 90 degree, means power will not distributed in a equally. So that we give a finite conductivity value. So if I give a finite conductivity value, means that finite conductivity is work on that lambda g, guided wavelength oriented fixes, so that we give a finite conductivity value here. So I'm apply my my boundary condition is in a finite conductivity for both ground and radiating layer. Then I'll put a then again I'll give a feed line. So insert my feed here. So again I made my edges on a feed. So I made edges of feed. So I'll take a calculation based things. I'll got some results value. So this is also we have to find a feed. So LG by 2 comma, sorry, LG by 2 minus L by 2 comma, WG minus the WG by 2 comma, sorry, WGT, sorry, LG by 2 minus L by 2 comma, WG by 2 minus W by 2 comma, 0. That means it's an initiated axis as a 0, so that we take a 0 axis. So then again X and Z value is there. So you put a X value is a thickness of that that means a width of the transmission line. Then Z already you know the thickness of the substrate. So you should put you should apply the thickness, means you got a exact place on feed. So again you get you right click on the feed and then go for assign boundary assign excitation condition. You should apply the lumped port, that means RLC port here. So if you give an RLC port, means then exact circuit will be ready, exact antenna is ready for a running condition, so that we got a results for exact results for 2.4. So this is a basic thing. Then I told one thing, if I introduce about the two capacitance, means my impedance is perfectly matched one. So now we go for a perfect impedance analysis. So we select a Smith chart. The Smith chart we give a new report, means we got a unit circle things. That unit circle things you need to mark our exact frequency. So the frequency lies below the unit circle. Exact value is 0.7139 plus 0.2299. So our imaginary part is always take a 0. So we got a real part. So 0.7. So 0.7 is approximately take as a 1. So our unit here, our unit will be matched. So our unit circle is matched here. Okay. So this is another one proof for this design is whether its design is correct or not. We need to check our impedance match. Then we need to gain of the antenna. So go for create far field, and the far field we got a 3D polar plot here. You select a 3D polar plot in a 3D polar plot. Then you go for a setup into a sweep, current sweep. Then select an overall gain. Then dB, unit is on a dB. So give a new report, means we got a gain. So gain is exactly maximum running gain is at 10 dB. Sorry, maximum ideal gain is on a 10 dB, but maximum running gain is 6.9 dB. This is also high gain antenna, one of the high gain antenna. I think you all know about a fully as a reddish, and also yellow also having a positive yellow. So 5 dB gain in ideal condition. Okay. Then again you go for results and take a create far field report. And the far field report you go for a 3D plot. Again change into a sweep. Then select a directivity. The directivity also you're getting a dB here. So you select a dB new. You got a directivity here. So in the directivity, this is also getting a full gain value. So 5 is on a full, then 0 is on a base of generator. So it's also getting a full gain, full direct. That means a bidirectional capability with a high gain antenna. So again, go for a results and right click on it results, then go for create far field report. And the far field report is select a radiation pattern here. That radiation pattern, we select a directivity, sorry, select RE, real part of emitted emission things as. So first select RE5 and go for dB, then primary sweep internet converted into pi. Then you select a frequency here also. So 2.45 is our frequency. So I'm selecting 2.4. And theta angle is in a first angle is in a 0. Now we got a azimuth angle of the antenna. Then we go for a theta. You add. So we got a elevation angle, elevation. Then again you go for a 90-degree plot because our antenna is placed on a 90-degree oriented. So we need to check check first of all the 90-degree working. So here our gain is got a maximum ideal gain is a 10 dB. Here also we got a maximum ideal condition is maximum power transfer in that ideal condition is above 10 dB. So here also we got a same exact value for radiation pattern also. So the antenna will be run on a equal surface. That means equally power distributed. So this antenna is called as an equally power distributed. So these are the basic things. And yesterday one of person is asked how to take a EX and the EY here. So again you take a radiation pattern, go for a radiation pattern. In that radiation pattern you select REX here. So you select a pi, then you take a REX. That REX you have to take a two condition. One is in a magnitude condition or else in a dB condition. If you take a dB condition means you need to convert it into a dB into a magnetic based upon the theoretical calculator. So here I am taking directly as a magnitude here. So give a new report. So I'll give that magnitude. That means EX plane. So you need to check whether the single axis means select a 0 degree, then our exact frequency is 2.45. So select a 2.4. I'll give apply trace means we got a, that means our EX, our unidirectional pattern for EX is a maximum derivative gain is above 11.2 dB. So the antenna will work on the maximum power transfer in that X direction. And again you go for a Y means you select a REY, select as a magnitude here. So same given things. So in Y directional, we got ideal condition is an a 0 because in our antenna will placed on a 90-degree 90-degree direction. So 90-degree direction means our Y plane is always in a 0, so that we got a 0 axis. So 0 plane. That's why EY magnitude is in a 0. That means imaginary part is 0. So we got a real part. So this is the E plane, EX and REX and REY analysis. So these are the basic things for the antenna analysis. And again, one more person is asked frequency, 2D frequency. So go for select a far field for a rectangle here, and total gain is an EB. Here our frequency is 2.45. So selecting 2.45. for our antenna feed position is 90 degree. So I'm selecting 90 degree. Give a report. So we got a thing. So maximum our running gain is the 5 dB for an working conditions. So maximum of our working condition at a zero angle, our maximum power will be transferred because our transmitted angle is on a 90 degree. That means our flat power angle is on a 90 degree. So that we got a opposite direction. So and that opposite direction means the 0 degree. So we got a maximum power transfer in that 0 degree. That's why we got a maximum dB is in a 5 or 0 degree. So these are the basic analysis of the antenna design characteristics. And also one more person asked the E field and H field characteristics. So E field and H field in answers we didn't analyze in a 2D plot. We got some 3D oriented progress alone. So we select a radiating layer and feed here. So right click on that things. So go for a plot field. In the plot field we have a magnitude here. So you select that magnitude. Our phasor degrees 90 degrees. So it could be a 90. Point. Our frequency is 2. So this is what we got a electrical power length value. So in that electrical volt per meter value, is the maximum. So maximum value is 0.9753 volt per meter. So it's exactly for 1 watt per meter. The transmission, that electrical unit transmitter value is 1 watt per meter. So this is the 1 volt per meter. So this is the basic field analysis. So if you go for a magnetic field means you select a magnetic field and also you have a surface current. So J also is there. You need to check the J also. The surface current also we need to check that. So these are the basic things. Now move on to our question session because interaction only we get a lot of answers. So if you ask something means I'm ready to show the answers. So please turn on your mics and ask the questions now.
Sir, can you explain the O and cross polarization?
Sorry?
O and cross polarization?
Co and cross polarization. Yeah, okay, sir. There are two conditions is that co-polarization and cross polarization. But here we are for a co-polarization only. Is a cross polarization does not occur here because our insertion loss is equal to our reflection loss means then only we got a cross polarization. But here our insertion loss also very less. Then you have to compare in our return loss. Our return loss value is below 10 dB. So below 10 dB means that insertion also is an insertion and then reflection is not equal. So that we got a co-polarization. So co-polarization means you got that here we having a positive value is there now. So if that cross angle will get in a positive means it's a co-polarization. If the cross polarization will get a negative means it's a cross polarization. So cross polarization is here zero condition. So that here cross polarization does not occur. So these are the basic steps. Sorry, easy to identify way. It's not a theoretical thing, but this is the easy way to find a cross and co-polarization. But in a cross polarization means our insertion loss is equal to a reflection loss. So if both loss is equal means cross polarization will occur. So the entire antenna will undergo a zero condition. It's not working properly. Yeah, tell me, sir.
Sir, once again you'll tell me, sir, about co-polarization. Here, how we are getting
in a simple way from a graph. Here we got a positive value, right? In that yes, plot. If you take a positive value means the value you should consider that is in a co-polarization. The transferred value is in a positive means. It's a simple identification process. It's not a theoretical process. Okay, it's a simple identification
that is dB
process.
Now, sir?
Yeah.
If the dB is more than 10, we'll consider that one as co-polarization.
Co-polarization. Yes. If it's a negative means it's a cross polarization. So cross polarization means the antenna doesn't work.
Okay, okay, sir.
And next one. And also I show on one more result. And that result is how the antenna will radiate, how the power will radiate it from the antenna. So if you go for create far field report, in that far field report, you got a rectangular contour plot here. You just select the rectangular contour plot, go for a system gain. You select a system gain, then last adaptive is converted into a sweep, and then give a dB here. So give a due report. So this is the way how the power will transmit from that antenna. How the power will radiate from this antenna. Okay.
Oh, bus machama.
Here we got a system gain.
हाँ तो चालू
That system gain is got a most negative progress. So you need to analyze these things into a gain also. So you go for results, right click on a far field, you go for a rectangular contour plot, select a gain into a dB, just give a new report. You got the system gain. Working on in a heavy working condition. That means the continuous working condition, the antenna gain is 1.76 dB.
मैं पूछूंगा एना टाइम में फोन करूं बट मला हम
खाली करो
So here we take a 2.4 is a 2.4. So 2.4 is on a Wi-Fi band. Our Wi-Fi is continuously working means continuously work entire 24 hours speed. Our system is still standby one. So 1.76 dB, a positive thing only. So our antenna is perfectly as not working, and this is also one of the proof for working conditions. Okay. So these things are analyzed based upon that board. That means fetching board characteristics. The fetching board means if you place this antenna into a Wi-Fi board, that Wi-Fi board based configuration thing. This graph. So these are the results. We need to analyze a lot of results is there. But these are the basic results we need to analyze for an antenna. So any other questions, please ask. Because if you ask a question, means then only lot of other persons also know about the things.
Sir, efficiency, how we will calculate?
Yes.
Antenna
Efficiency you have to calculate on two types. So one is based upon that graphical structure. So here we have a radiation efficiency is there. So you select a radiation efficiency. So if you give a new report means you get efficiency results in a 2D plot. It's take time, much more time. Else you directly calculate from neta is equal to gain by directivity into 100%. If using that formula means you also that also got a efficiency. That's a theoretical efficiency. Neta is equal to that means gain is directly proportional to directivity. That means gain is directly proportional to directivity. So G is equal to neta into D. So neta is the blank constant here. So neta is equal to G by D into 100% means you got a efficiency of the antenna. So here we got a efficiency is 62% of efficiency. Antenna efficiency is 62% because we need to optimize this antenna for a high efficiency with high directivity. So yes, tomorrow we'll continue that DGS effect and then metamaterial things. We impose this the two characteristics in this antenna means we got improved results. That's why I'm selecting this antenna for designing. So any other questions? Just wait, sir. It's take us some time. After getting results, I'll explain that graphical.
hello sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what is the physical significance of crow and cross polarization? Because our method of calculating is okay, but what is the for antenna? What is the meaning of that?
Sorry, like 1 second, please.
What is the physical significance of crow and cross polarization for antenna?
Yeah, okay. So physical significance means I have two conditions. One is on a zero axis and another one is on a 180-degree axis. Okay. So if a zero axis means our zero axis means our entire antenna will work. The entire antenna power will transmit on a 90-degree. So if we got a 90-degree means our that means azimuth angle at elevation angle get a cross cut of 0 degree. So the power is maximum transferred into a 0 degree. So it's a cross co-polarization process. But in a cross polarization means the antenna is work on as on a minus 180 degree. So minus 180 degree means our entire power will transmitted into a uh, into uh, into a 90-degree progress. So 90-degree means we getting a 180 minus 90. So we got a 90-degree angle. So 90-degree angle means the elevation angle, then azimuth angle cuts in a 0 degree. So it's a producer as a cross polarization. That is the basic condition for angle oriented. So this is the significance of physical significance of the antenna board.
It's 90 degree. It should not radiate 90 degrees. It should radiate on a 0 degree.
Yes, is if you give a power input is in a 90-degree, 0 degree means. If I so consider this antenna, sir. Now we give a power input is in a 90-degree, right? Sir, can you hear?
Yes, yes, I can hear.
Okay. If I give a power input power is in a 90-degree, so I'm getting a exact maximum power transfer in a 0 degree. So here my power is transferred into a clockwise direction. That means anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction, and most of my entire power will transmitted into a 0 degree. So 0 degree means it's a unit circle. So we got a co-polarization here. But here I am giving a 0 degree. That means 180-degree progress. This power, this transmission line into here means we got a here means it's a 180-degree. So if 180-degree means we got a just wait. So 180-degree means our maximum power transmitted into this 90-degree. So if a 90-degree means here we got a
What's the big so?
here we having 2.4 is 67 point sorry 0.6725. So you just multiply into 100 percentage means you got 67.25 percentage of efficiency. Antenna efficiency is 67.25%. So this is the antenna efficiency graph, radiation efficiency graph.
Generally, how much percentage we have to consider for antenna efficiency?
Above 60% is enough.
Okay, sir.
Above 60% means antenna will antenna in a perfect radiation. Above 60 and below 90.
How much it goes?
If you get 100% means emission will high, so it suffer the human body. So that you take a 92 is in a maximum, and then 60 is in a minimum.
90 degree hours, man.
Sorry.
Okay.
Any other questions, sir?
Sir, I design Jaguar antenna, so I'm getting more than 90% radiation efficiency. So it is okay.
More than 90%, but that antenna is a unidirectional pattern antenna. Okay, so unidirectional pattern antenna means you getting you go for up to 98%. In a bidirectional only having this condition 60 to 92, but in a unidirectional means 60 to 98 is okay.
Okay, sir.
Because you're placing a more number of radiators, sorry, directors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so that we're getting a high efficiency. Sir, else one of person ask a co and cross polarization. You take this graph and then you should apply that graph that exact significant far field analysis value 2d squared divided by lambda. If you're using that formula means you're getting some answer. So d squared means distance between the feed line to and antenna. That means radiating layer. So that layer will take around 30. 18.6 mm. So you take d square as an 18.6. So you just give that if you take that answer means that answer and also this cross angle answer also is an equal one. So you got a exact far field value. So this is also one of the theoretical calculation. We need to prove our radiation pattern also. Far field analysis. That's why we take a 2d square lambda, 2d square divided by lambda. If you take that formula means here d square value is distance between feed line to an patch radiating here. So you select that value, you should apply that value that means you're getting some answer. That answer is equal to this cross cut angle. That means our beam angle. Next question.
So show me the current distribution, sir,
Sorry.
in a graphical way. Current distribution.
In a current distribution for graphical analysis, this is a 2020 version. This version is not available. That's why. Else you go for a radiating power or something else means you got here.
Sir, he may be current density.
Sorry?
J Bob, current density, sir.
Current density distribution.
Current density.
That is available, sir.
Okay, okay, okay.
J, हाँ.
So current density is so 0.2 amps per meter to 10.7 amps per meter. The maximum is 10.7 and minimum is 0.2. It's the current density. Here we have to analyze based upon the unit area function alone. That's why it's per meter. Correct. The next thing, sir.
Sir, how to check the polarization type of antenna by in graphical way?
Polarization type.
Uh,
Uh, uh,
Elliptical polarization, circular polarizations.
yes, sir. But in a graphical structure, we doesn't consider that things as we have to calculate in a manual calculation alone. In manual calculation only we go for that cross polarization and things as. So okay, I'll check on. We'll check in today and then I'll explain tomorrow. That things as. You just remind me tomorrow, okay? I'll explain that.
Sure, sir, sure.
Here also you need a emission test report means that emission test report also you take here. So how the emission will occur in a 1 meter distance and 3 meter distance or 4 meter distance, that's also if you take here. Any other questions?
Sir, suppose I have an array of antenna.
Okay.
So how to check the power requirement of each antenna? So how to check like each antenna will require this much power. So total power we can calculate.
First, you need to based on the theoretical calculation. After getting the theoretical calculation only, we go for a individual antenna power. Having power density calculator na, microwave power density calculator is there. Now online you have a power density calculator. You should apply. You should go for the things. Then you should apply how many array you have to use. Minimum 4 array or 3, 2 cross 2 or 4 cross 4, whatever it. You make it a matrix array. Na? You just put that matrix array values here means you're getting the individual power values. Then you should apply that value into a theoretical part. In the theoretical part, you having some plot field here. In that plot field, each and every antenna will exactly will rotate.
Fields. Yeah.
Edit source here in that source. If you're using a 4 cross 4 matrix means you're having a 4 values. Source 1, source 2, source 3, source 4 is there. So you should modify that power value, magnitude of power value here. That power value you directly apply means each and every antenna will got that same power.
Yeah. Here, sir, by default, we are using 1 watt. So if you are taking 2 or 3 watt, so what is the difference between that?
So if you increase the power level means emission also increase. Here, this is a microstrip patch antenna. The patch antenna means it's like a PCB board antenna. So PCB board means we go for a PCB means it's a low power consumption only. That's why we selected 1 volt is our base. Because patch antenna is also called as a low power antenna. If this is a wired antenna means that means wired antenna means it's a Yagi real time Yagi Uda or else dipole antenna means you go for a various power levels. So 2 watts or 5 watts, 18 watts, 18 watts also it will take a Yagi Uda antenna. I know olden days we using a TV antenna for TV antenna is there. That antenna will take power level of 7.2 watts. Because more number of radios, that's why.
Yes.
So another questions? Please ask the questions. That's why we get a lot of things. Then students also is there. I think third year and final year students also is there. So you just ask your doubts.
Sir, good morning. Sir, radiated power, how will calculate?
What is it?
Radiated power.
Yeah, radiated power you calculate directly from two-dimensional structure. You're having a radiated power. Yeah, show it tomorrow. That radiated power.
Okay, okay.
My option is correct. Not what.
We will share this recorded video, sir.
Yeah, let's share it. So here our radiated power is 1.9, exactly 1.9. So this is the unit, that means modular function. So if you take if this a minus means you take a positive. So modular means it's a positive one. So you get an 1.9. But this is a less power. We need to get a more power means we want a plus sign. We want a plus sign. That's why we get a more power.
Okay.
And any other questions?
Hello, sir. Sir, now we have designed the antenna as a transmitted antenna. So transmitted antenna working, I understood, but how it is working in the receiver antenna? How like we have to apply the signal, or we have to apply the waves? Can you
Sorry.
explain it?
One
Uh,
second. Okay, one second.
Hello. How the
Yeah, tell me.
antenna is working in receiver mode?
Yeah, receiver mode. Okay, so receiver mode and the power only is a different type. Because here transmitter antenna means power is we only give the input power, but in a receiver antenna it receives the power from that air. So if a air medium means you're getting some loss, so that the power will be a variated one. Otherwise the operations and process all the same from receiver and transmitter. So
In
receiving
the
power only is a different.
in the receiver mode, we don't need to supply the into antenna.
Yes, because it just receive the power alone. Just electromagnetic signal only. So the power only is a different. Otherwise, the operation is entirely same from transmitter and receiver.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, two-dimensional radiation path.
Okay.
How to obtain the gain of an antenna?
Two-dimensional radiation pattern.
How to get the gain from two-dimensional radiation pattern? How can we check the gain of an antenna? How to check the gain of an antenna?
Yeah. No problem, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here we got the thesis only. So if you go for a radiation pattern, the radiation pattern before itself by selecting emission, real-time emission, but you select a gain means you having a two part in a horizontal gain and vertical gain also, both you have to analyze. I'll take a total gain here. So I'll select a horizontal gain. The gain value is in a dB and also change it to a pi. That family has to be changed. The frequency range is exactly 2.4. You select a 2.4 here. Then your angle, in which angle you need. We want a 90 degree because our power is transmitted from 90 degree. So you select a 90 degree. Here you got a.
Okay.
So this
From this, what is the gain of an antenna, sir?
just wait, sir. I'll show it. The exact 90 degree, our antenna is minus 5.49 is in a magnitude. You should convert this magnitude into real time value means you got around a 3.24 dB. This is having a calculator, so you should apply that calculator. You got a.
So
Tell me, sir.
this is E plane, sir.
It's a E plane. You go for a H plane means
Hello.
here also we got.
This is E plane.
Yeah, please. Yes. Here we got a H. H plane having 4.10.
Sir, there is another path to see the radiation patterns, E plane and H plane. Gain, total dB, and in families we can select 0, 90. That is
Yes.
also another procedure is there, na sir?
Yeah, you
Can
need
you
to
show it?
select all the things.
Uh,
Fine. Then you select a total. Here dB. Just go for families, and then families. If you want some angle means I need a 90 degree. That is 0 degree. And 90. And 180.
so
So our maximum gain value is 4.8 for a 0 degree angle, because here we giving a power input is on a 90 degree. So our getting maximum power transferred into a 0 degree. This is
sir,
analysis.
which one is E plane and which one is H plane, sir, from this plot?
From this plot, you having the polarization characteristic only. It's not a E plane or H plane character. It's a polarization. It's a circular polarization.
Okay.
So circular polarization means in a equal field line structure is called as an E plane, and the opposite direction is called as an H plane. So you got a H plane value, and then E plane also you got a same value. So same value. So all the directions, the power is equally distributed. In E plane or H plane, whatever it's, all the direction, our power is equally distributed. That is the basic things of circularly polarized.
Okay.
And one of person asked the circular how to check whether the rectangular polarization or circular polarization. This is also one of the method to analyze the polarization. Thanks, sir. Thanks to.
That circular is which plane, sir? That circular is
Sorry.
E plane or H? Circular.
It's occur
Red
both
color
E and
circle
H.
is there, no, sir?
Both E and H.
Both E and H. Middle, sir. In
Yes.
the middle also we are seeing.
Yeah, middle also having the circular plane also. But in a near field is always 0 for an answer.
Okay.
So that we want to consider this near field character. We only think of far field only.
Oh. But for linear, we won't see this type of for linear.
Sorry. Yeah, linear polarization means we got a single lobe only, single lobe in the particular direction, for a particular radiating direction alone. Is that linear polarization? We want to get this type of things. We want to get a single lobe is there now. In H-shape single lobe only, you have to produce a particular direction.
Okay. Sir, from the
impedance parameters. Sir. You got Rx value is in a unit means imperfectly is a matched impedance. This is the angle, antenna placing angle. This is the magnitude value. If you convert this magnitude into magnitude value into a real time value, please, you got around 48.5 ohm is there exactly. You get a 48.5 ohm. So that is also equal to a 50 ohm character. So input impedance is matched with an output. That is that things only you have to find in Smith chart, because impedance matching characteristic is very important. Yeah?
So these you selected M1 where, sir? Trace 1.
Yeah, 2.4 our exact frequency.
At 2.4 we are getting values.
Yes.
Oh.
You said just select our exact frequency one.
Can we select M1 anywhere, sir? Or only at
No,
that
sir,
point?
because you got a results from here, M1 2.4 only, na?
Yes.
That's why.
In the Smith chart, sir. Smith chart.
Yeah, sir. We get a return loss frequency is 2.4 gigahertz. So that you go for selection return loss only here.
Okay. Return loss value, you have to take it.
Yeah. Then only we get a if our frequency output frequency is matched with that output circuit means our impedance will be in a matched one. First of all, that is the first condition. So if you select that impedance matching condition, if you analyze the impedance matching condition via Smith chart only. That's why we taking our return loss value here.
Okay.
So and once again, one more formula is there. Whether the design is correct or not, you have to check via that things is. Just wait, I'll show. So you all know about my screen?
It's black.
No, sir.
So just wait. Just. Now you are seeing here. First, you know about the return loss value. To find the return loss value via graph. So our graphical represent the value is around minus 13 point something. Okay. You should apply here. You should find the tau value here. So tau is equal to minus 10 power minus RL divided by 20. You apply these things, this means you got a tau. So you should apply the tau into a VSWR formula, means you got the exact VSWR value of our graphical representation. This is also one of the
Oi.
theoretical comparison method, theoretical verification method.
Sir, you told that you have given input speed with 90 degrees.
Yes, sir.
Input power. Sir, how you are saying it is 90? How you are saying it is 90, sir? Where we can check it is 90? 90 degrees.
Sir, this is a zero axis. Y is in a zero axis, right? Here x is in a 90. Here is a minus 90. Here is a
Okay.
is also 0. So totally you got a 180.
Okay.
So here, that's why I'm saying this is a 90.
Okay. For 90, we have to get at 0 degrees, sir.
Yeah, 0 degrees and a max.
Maximum for copolarization.
So copolarization means 90 degree power transmission is the main character. So main important significance. So we got if a 90 degrees my input means 0 degrees my output. So it is a copolarization. So polarization is occur in the perfect condition, matching condition. So it's occurring that minus 90 degree means it's a cross polarization.
Okay.
So any other doubts?
Sir, what should be the input impedance? That means input impedance plot on Smith chart, sir. How should be the input impedance?
Input impedance is you only give that impedance.
Okay,
Here
we are giving.
Yeah. Here we give a 50 ohm input impedance now.
Yes, sir.
So you should analyze
whether.
whether.
Number?
Sorry.
Can we give other 60 ohms or 70 ohms like that?
Yeah, if you give a 60 ohm or 70 ohm means the results also will vary.
Okay. So can we represent that input impedance on the Smith chart plot after designing this patch antenna?
Just right. So in that Smith chart, we got a results from 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, here exactly we got a 2.4 gigahertz. So you need to select that 2.4 from the Smith chart. That Smith chart below the exact frequencies lies below the unit circle means the impedance is matched character. It's above the unit circle means the impedance does not match. That is the main condition for the Smith chart analysis.
Okay, sir.
Sir, how to do time domain analysis on HFSS for antenna?
The time domain analysis. So you need to calculate delay time, sir, first of all. So you calculate the delay time means then after getting the delay time only we go for that analysis.
Suppose I want to apply one square signal in the antenna and I want to see the output of antenna. So can we see the HFSS?
How you apply a square signal in an antenna? Because antenna is an analog device, right? It's not a digital. Antenna is an analog, yes.
But sir, some of the analysis for suppose band pass filter, we are using a square signals, and we will see the output like how the
before giving an input, you should apply the matching circuit. So giving a matching circuit only, you have that matching circuit convert that square signal into a analogous signal, then only it's a transfer. But in a filter is an digital sequence path. The filter is you have to analyze both signals, square and also as analog. Both you have to analyze. That means pulse and also analog. But in antenna is an analog device. We can't analyze in a square pulse. If you want to analyze in a square pulse means before giving an input, you need to give a matching circuit. That matching circuit only you analyze based upon that matching circuit only. You get a time domain analysis. Generally, in ANSYS, give a time domain analysis only because all the S parameter value is called as a time domain analysis. So if here we analyze only for S parameter things only, so it's generally it's called as a time domain. If you want a frequency domain means then only you go for some changes.
Okay. Sir, for suppose this body wearable antenna, we require antenna plus oscillators. So can you explain something about oscillator design?
Oscillator design means first of all you need to calculate power, how much of power required for this antenna. Because in-body communication means it's an implantable antenna. So implantable antenna means first you need to know about each and which organ you have to place that antenna, and that after that how much of the electrical quantity of that organ. So each and every organ is having some electrical quantity value. So you should analyze that electrical quantity. After that only you need to design an oscillator.
Can you suggest some material or some book for design of oscillator design for antenna?
Materials means go for a ceramic. Ceramic material is it's most okay, ceramic or else some carbon ionized things is there. Carbon ionized materials. That material is called as a composite material. Carbon ionized material. You go for these two materials means the antenna will that oscillator will give exact power to the antenna.
Can you mention some book related to this design?
Sorry.
Can you mention some
books? Okay, I'll share one book for tomorrow. Sorry, today evening via mail. Okay, in that mail, that is called as a microstrip filter book is there, and that book having some oscillator design also. That is very useful for you, I think. I share you.
Okay. Can you mention your mail ID so that we can communicate with you?
No problem. Yeah, I'll give a my mail ID.
Can you write in chat box so everybody can see?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, how to display 3D radiation pattern on simulated antenna?
The same things. You just select for results and go for a far field report. And the far field report, you go for a create rectangle. Sorry. Far field report, 3D polar plot. That's
No, no, no,
basically
sir.
power. Yeah.
Sir, on the antenna, sir, on the antenna surface.
Oh, antenna surface based pieces.
Yes, sir. On the simulated antenna, how to
Okay.
show the 3D radiation pattern?
Sorry, sir, I don't know exactly. If possible, tomorrow I'll show you.
Okay, sir.
So that I didn't do that analysis. That's why.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, can you tell about S parameter, sir? S11 means input is given to first port and return
Also
loss,
get
like
output.
reflected.
Yes. Also get out also in a first reflected.
So it is reflecting back to the input itself.
Yes.
That is
Yes,
S1. So S21 is 1, 2.
2 1 means 1 is an input, 2 is an output.
Okay, second port.
Yes.
So that will be there for waveguide, no, sir?
Yes.
S21.
That is called as a reflection loss.
Yeah, reflection loss.
Any other questions?
Sir, how to design multi-band antenna?
Yeah, multi-band antenna means you just calculated based upon the things. Select a frequency. Low frequency means you get the same signal. You convert it into multi-band based upon that calculation oriented. Because here I am taking this antenna is in a 2.45 gigahertz. So this antenna is working on in-body communication and also as well as for Wi-Fi communication. That's why I'm taking a single band. If you go for a multi-band means you select a low frequency, then get a multi-band. But feed line will be changed one because here I'm placing a mid-feed line. You select a corner or H feed means you're getting this antenna also will give a multi. Input power position will you change that input power position means you got a multiple signal.
Okay, sir.
Sir, for wideband antennas, how to select the frequency, resonating frequency? For example, for ultra wideband, it is from 3.1 to 10.6.
10.6, yes.
3.1 to 10.6. That is the operating band, sir.
Yes.
So how to use you have given one file, na?
Yeah,
there are length, width, patch, substrates for all those things, na? How to use those equations to find the resonating frequency?
First of all, in which application you have to contact particular band.
Yes, sir. That is the application. UWB is the application. 3.1 to 10.6.
UWB is your application.
For entire UWB, I have
UWB means you select a mid band.
Mid band.
Yes, you select a mid band means you're getting a resonant from both sides, from 0 to mid and then mid to end. So you getting a
how to take the center frequency, na sir?
Sorry, sir.
I have to take the center frequency.
Yeah, you have to take a center frequency means you get a exact entire coverage bands for 3.6, 3.1 to 10.6.
Okay. Sir, and in some defected ground structures, ground plane is reduced, na? Some part is removed from the total
tomorrow
substrate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'll explain that things via design.
Okay.
If you go for a defected ground structure means you enlarge the bandwidth. So that is the first condition. If you want to enlarge the bandwidth means you directly enter into a defected ground.
Okay. Then those equations LG is equal to L plus 6H formula, that doesn't work, I think.
That formula, yeah, that formula is not working. You need to convert that pieces into lambda G condition, guided wavelength condition.
Okay. So somebody said that radiation box dimension is minimum lambda by 4.
Yeah, you take a lambda by 6, not a lambda by 4.
Lambda means free space wavelength.
Yes, free space wavelength
Both
divided by
are same, sir. Lambda by
yeah.
4 and lambda g by 6.
No,
You have
lambda
given
g is a
lambda by
guided.
lambda g by 6. Guided
Yes,
wavelength
lambda
by
g is
6,
a
sir.
guided wavelength. Guided wavelength means if you place this antenna into a particular circuit only, na,
Okay.
I'm selecting that circuit, entire circuit progress alone. If you want a free
Okay.
space analysis, means you directly go for lambda by 6.
That is the minimum size, sir, or a maximum
Yes,
size?
maximum size, not a minimum.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions, sir? After completing this 4-day session, I share this design file also for your reference. Any other questions?
Quality factor.
Sorry, sir, I can't get your voice.
Quality factor, sir.
Q factor.
Yes, sir.
In a Q factor, you need to calculate a theoretical basis. That's why you get an exact answer. In a graphical representation means you doesn't get an exact answer. Better you go for a theoretical concept for quality factor. Because this is a free space antenna. Now we analyze a free space alone. We need to put this antenna into any of circuit board. So if you place that circuit board only, you get a quality analysis. That's why I'm saying. If you go for a theoretical means it is easy for you.
Sir, this version is which one, sir? HFS version.
Sorry, sir.
Version is which one, sir?
I'm using
HFSS version. Yes,
I'm
sir.
using 2020.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in eigen frequency, we can get the quality factor. So it is useful.
Sorry, sir.
In eigen frequency analysis,
Okay.
in HFSS, we will get the quality factor.
Okay.
So that is useful or theoretical calculation is useful?
So you just compare it, sir. First of all, you just compare that those things as means what you only get the exact result, because in a theoretical part we got a exact analysis value, but in a practical session we have a loss, because we have some minimum loss is there. So you just getting that loss oriented things as means it's around half of the quality only for a practical analysis. You're getting a half of the quality.
I compared, but sir, I'm getting totally different answers. I mean, the variation is more than half.
More than half.
Yes, sir.
I think in a theoretical we got a 10 means, in a practical you got a 5, right?
Yes, sir. Practical means this eigen frequency analysis.
Yes, sir. That's why I'm saying in a practical you won't get a exact analysis, because it's not, if we want to place any of circuit here now, you just design on antenna alone. If you're placing this antenna into a particular circuit means that circuit also having some impedance quality, that impedance and your antenna impedance matching only, the quality will give it. So after you placing this antenna into that circuit board only, you got a exact quality. That's why I'm saying you better go for a theoretical.
Yes.
Yesterday video is in our Telegram group. Uh, if you go and check the Telegram. the Telegram group, you having the yesterday video and also a formula sheet. But in our WhatsApp group also we share a formula sheet. Any other questions? Once again, I'm telling one thing. Why I'm taking the question session is much more time means if you ask a lot of questions means then only we need to get a good conversation, and also we need to get a lot of answers regarding our doubts. So that I'm go for a question session is much more time. Because you all know about how to design an antenna in the software, but how to optimize and then how to analyze the results. That's why you that things only you struggle. So that I'm go for a question session is much more time. So some students is there. I think final year students and third year students is there. Tomorrow afternoon we give a special session for you people how to design this antenna in a basics level. I'll explain the things into a tomorrow afternoon session for you. This is a special session for students. Okay, sir. Thanks to all.